Module 4.2. Assessment and Evaluation. As we teach, it is important to assess and evaluate the teaching and learning process to ensure learning objectives are achieved. Assessment plays an enormous role in the teaching-learning process. It helps teachers and learners to improve teaching and learning. This is a continuous process and a periodic exercise. Assessment in teaching and learning has been defined in various ways by different authors. In general, assessment is defined as any systematic procedures for collecting, reviewing and using information about learners, so as to make improvement where necessary. This means that assessment is the process of identifying, gathering and interpreting information about learners' learning. In general, assessment is an ongoing interactive process, in which the teacher and learner are involved. Assessment plays an enormous role in the teaching-learning process. It helps teachers and learners to improve teaching and learning. This is a continuous process and a periodic exercise. Assessment is any systematic procedures for collecting, reviewing and using information about learners, so as to make improvement where necessary. This means that assessment is the process of identifying, gathering and interpreting information about learners' learning. The main purpose of assessment is to provide information on learners' achievement and progress and set the direction for an ongoing improvement in the teaching-learning process. Assessment helps shape the learning process at all points and gives insights into a learner's learning. In light of this, it is important for teachers to understand the difference between two types of assessment: formative assessment and summative assessment. Formative assessment is carried out throughout a course or project to aid learning. Formative assessments help teachers understand a learner's learning while they teach and adjust their teaching strategies accordingly. Some examples of formative assessment include student portfolios, class discussions, regular quizzes, and virtual classroom tools such as Mentimeter, www.mentimeter.com. Summative assessment is generally carried out at the end of the course or project, semester or unit. It is evaluative and primarily used to assign learners a course grade. Typically, summative assessment occurs at the end of an educational activity and is designed to judge the learner's overall performance. While assessment focuses on the learning and teaching processes and outcomes, and provides information for improving them, evaluation focuses on grading the quality of learners' outputs. Evaluation is therefore described as the structured interpretation and giving of meaning to results. It looks at original objectives and makes a comparison with what was accomplished. An evaluation can be used as a final review to gauge the quality of instruction. It is 1. Identifying and defining general objectives. In the evaluation process, the first step is to determine what to evaluation and so to set down educational objectives. 2. Selecting teaching points. The next step in the process of evaluation is to select teaching points through which the objectives can be realized. Once the objectives are set up, the next step is to decide the content, curriculum, syllabus, course, to help in the realization of objectives. 3. Planning suitable teaching and learning activities. Thirdly, the teacher will have to plan the learning activities to be provided to the learners and, at the same time, bear in mind the objectives as well as teaching points. 4. Evaluating. The teacher observes and measures the changes in the behavior of learners through testing. 5. Using the results as feedback. The last, but not the least, important step in the evaluation process is the use of results as feedback. If the teacher, after testing the learners, finds that the objectives have not been realized to a great extent, he will use the results in reconsidering the objectives and in organizing the learning activities.